Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy The Fulfills, and I'm back again with another YouTube video, and I'm here to give you guys the top 5 things you need to stop doing in Tekken 8. Let's get into the video. And number 1, we have wake up attacks. Stop getting up the exact same way. For example, if I get a knockdown on my opponent, I try to go for Oki, and they wake up with the low kicks, right? If this is you, it doesn't specifically have to be that specific wake up. It could be any of the wake ups. It could be, you could wake up without pressing a button. You could wake up spring kick, for example. If you keep waking up with the same option all the time because you're not thinking about how you're gonna get up, you just want to get up, so you just automatically default to waking up with the same thing, you have to stop doing that. It's too easy to bait. If someone catches on it, all they're gonna do is wait, bait, launch you with a big attack, and it's just not beneficial. You get too predictable no matter what it is. Even if you wake up like this, right, for example, even if you wake up side roll, right, even if you wake up side roll, still characters have setups that beat side rolls. There's setups that beat every type of recovery in the game. So the main thing you want to do is not be predictable with how you get up. Do not be predictable with that. That's number 1. Number 2 on the list is stop wasting heat. A lot of people pop heat and they waste it by using heat smash, and that's the only thing they do in heat a lot of the time. When you have heat, pretty much every character in the game has options to burn their heat bar without spending heat smash. For example, with Nina, right? She has back 1+2. That drains some heat, but look, I still have heat. I can do it a second time. And look, it only ended there because I did it late. If I do it once, twice, and now I can do it a third time. See that? Before my time even ended. So I've got enough time to do it multiple times before my heat ends. See, that's 2 times. And I still have enough to do a heat smash. So you guys need to use your moves that burn your actual gauge outside of heat smash, because you can make a lot more out of your heat. For example, use it once, save it, and now I can do the heat smash. Instead of just popping heat, doing heat smash once, that's it. It's gone. You can do way more damage. You can do way more chip damage, more real damage. You can get more plus frames by actually using the moves that are enhanced once you're in heat. So yeah, that's one thing. A lot of people pop heat and then they panic, so they're just like, oh, I have heat smash. Usually if I go for a heat smash really early on, when I've popped heat, it's usually because I have a read on my opponent who's going to do a power crush, or he's going to do his heat burst. That's the only situation. Outside of that, I would usually save it, use up some of my heat meter using enhanced moves instead of just wasting it really quickly. But yeah, don't waste your heat. And number 3, we have overusing generic throws. Now, I'm a big advocate for throws. I always talk about throws in a lot of my beginner guides and how to get better and rank up. However, overusing generic throws, now what I mean by generic throws, you know, your 1+3 throw or your 2+4 throw, right? Now, the reason why you don't want to overuse these is simply because these are the easiest throws to break. You know, if you have 1+2 throws, they can only be broken by 1+2, right? If you have a 2 break throw, it's only broken by 2. 1 break only by 1. But your generic throws can be broken by pressing 1 or 2. So as long as you're pretty much mashing a button, you're likely to you're going to break it. The only way you don't break it is if you just wasn't pressing in that moment, right? So yeah, generic throws are like the weakest throws in the game. Not saying they're useless, but if you overuse them and they're your primary option every time you go for a throw, most likely you're not going to be successful with it. So don't overuse generic throws. Number 4 is taking your turn back with the same button. I see a lot of people do this, and a lot of people seem to can't get out of the habit of doing it. So I have to include this in the video. Now, what I mean by this is after your opponent ends their turn, for example, if I do something like 1-2, right? A lot of people are stuck, like their default, their muscle memory is just making them do the same thing over and over when they take their turn back, right? It's a reflex. It's just what they're used to doing. So if I do 1-2, say my opponent takes their turn back with 1, you know, Mishima, a lot of them do 1-1-2, they want to take their turn back, right? They do 1-1 and they confirm it into 2 if it hits. Now, this applies to every single character who takes their turn back with the same button all the time. It gets too predictable again. It gets too predictable. Like if you keep it over and over, you can get better. Look, side step, launch, right? This could be in the heat of the moment. It's like, oh, I want to take my turn back. Let me press 1. Nope, don't do that. It's the button you keep pressing over and over again. Now again, I'm not talking about 1 specifically. It doesn't have to be 1. He could take his turn back with anything, right? You don't want to keep taking your turn back with the same thing. That's the point, because eventually you're going to get baited. And I'm gonna get all this damage into there, and you just don't want that happening, right? You don't want that happening. Could be so many things. I can duck, launch. You get too predictable like that in Tekken, you're bound to lose a lot of games. So that's number 4. Don't take your turn back with the same thing all the time. It doesn't work out. At number 5, and this is the last one, we have ignoring lack of knowledge. Everybody complains that Tekken is a knowledge check game. There's too many knowledge checks as a new player. Even pro players don't know everything. Yes, there's a lot of knowledge checks. It's true. Yes, I experienced a knowledge check too. I'm new to playing Tekken competitively and stuff. Like, yes, there's a lot of knowledge checks. However, it's worse if you ignore the lack of knowledge that you have. Same for me. It's bad if I ignore the lack of knowledge that I have in the game still, right? We've all played ranked before. We've all played online. We probably all played with friends, whatever the case. When you lose to a character or something that you don't understand, you don't know how to block it, you don't know how to counter it, you don't know what it does, you don't have enough information on what you're losing to. The worst thing you can do is load ranked again or queue back up and just go next and play. If you're trying to improve, you have to use the replay and tips mode, or practice on your own if you want, but the replay and tips mode is the best way to begin practicing. So you have to use that. See what that move is, see the frame there on it, see if you can duck it, see if you can block it, see if it's unbreakable, how do you take this throw. You have to know these things. Otherwise, if you just keep playing, it's not going to work out. It's a knowledge check game, right? Just like everyone said, it's a knowledge check game. So if you don't go and find out what that knowledge is and what the answers are, you cannot expect to improve. That's simply how it is. And I think we've all been in that situation. I've done it too. I'm like, oh, I don't understand this, but then I go and play another game. Why didn't I go straight to the lab and learn? We're all guilty of it, right? But that's not a good way to learn. That's not a good way to go about it. You have to learn. That's the main thing. You have to learn. That's gonna do it for this video, you lot. Appreciate you lot tuning in. Hopefully this was able to help some of you lot out there. You know, I'm still trying to do as many guys as possible. The more I learn about the game, the more I learn about just about everything in general, man. Nina and stuff. I'm gonna try to do some stuff outside of just Nina as well, but it might take me some time to learn. But yeah, hopefully this was able to help some of you guys. It's a new patch, so there'll be some new videos coming to the channel. And yeah, like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you lot in the next one.